Evan, you were in the courtroom today for the oral argument, so you could see the former president there. I know you were sitting and you could see the back of him. The judges obviously were skeptical as we were playing part of what they said, but you heard all of it. So what happens next?
Well, Aaron, we have to wait to see whether how this three-judge panel rules. And one of the things that John Sauer, Donald Trump's attorney, said near the end of his presentation was, if you rule against us, we ask you that you put a stay on it so that we can continue appealing. That's a nod to the strategy that the former president and his legal team have, which is to try to buy more time, to try to push back the date of this trial, which right now is still scheduled for March 4th, but that is obviously very, very doubtful. The former president, as you pointed out, Aaron, did not have to be there today. He gave rapt attention really to the three-judge panel. He listened to their questions, and then when the government began their presentation, James Pierce, who works on special counsel Jack Smith's team, he started writing notes, furiously writing notes, passing them on to his attorney, John Sauer. Now, we don't know whether Sauer took any of those notes and actually made any presentations on it. Near the end of his presentation, he did say, wanted to reiterate that he believed that what the former president is accused of, everything that he's accused of happened while he was in office, sort of motioning to Donald Trump. The former president nodded, again, very visibly. It gives you a sense of why he was there, which was to see with his own eyes, to see what these judges were going to say. And look, it's very clear that they expect that this is not going to go their way, but the whole goal here is to try to delay this trial, perhaps into beyond the election. Aaron.
Thank you very much, Evan. And also, as you point out, crucial that, how intimately he is involved and that he chose to be there, that he does, on some level, grasp the gravity of it. Beyond
Absolutely.
obviously seeing the television, seizing the television cameras outside the room, that he grasped the gravity on some level. All right, Evan, thank you very much. So now let's go, as promised, to Ty Cobb, the former Trump White House lawyer. So Ty, let's just start off with where you stood on this prior to the arguments we heard today. You and more than a dozen other lawyers and former government officials signed a friend of the court briefing, an amicus curiae, in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, and you all argue against Trump's immunity claim. So did anything that you heard today from Trump's attorney change your mind?
Oh, absolutely not. In fact, I think, Trump may have approached this hearing with some optimism and attended with interest, but I think his lawyers knew that, today would be a fateful day. Their legal arguments and constitutional arguments were largely specious. I think that came out today. They basically abandoned, I think, as Judge Pan carefully extracted the concession that they had to make based on the law and the Constitution, that the only real argument they have, they no longer have the argument that he's absolutely immune, because they have conceded that under certain circumstances he could be prosecuted for even official acts. And they've also conceded on the double jeopardy argument. All they have left is the fig leaf of a negative inference from the impeachment judgment clause, which makes plain that if he is impeached and convicted, he's also subject to criminal jurisdiction and prosecution. It's silent as to, a president who's impeached and not convicted. It's silent as to presidents who are not impeached. Clearly, there is no guidance in the Constitution that provides the immunity that they have asked for, and I think that ruling will come fast and forcefully.
So the judges did express skepticism, all three of them. You mentioned Judge Pan. She said Trump's argument, quote, falls away, right, when you lay out the context of impeachment. Judge Henderson called it paradoxical, and I thought the way she really laid it out, it's sort of one of those eureka moments, okay? She put that really clearly, right? How can you...
Yes, she definitely did. I mean, her point that, it's hard for me to understand how you're saying his duty to faithfully execute the laws somehow allows him to be a criminal.
Right. I mean, it is nonsensical in that sense. Just sort of the way she put it was quite beautifully said. But also, Ty, again, I was just sitting here as a citizen, like anybody else watching, to hear the argument made in a courtroom that there's a situation where a president can order the murder of his political rival, right, through SEAL Team 6, and that would be okay, if he hadn't been impeached for it, is a bit jarring. It stopped me in my tracks because they made it with great seriousness. And because of that, I guess it put into context a bit, perhaps, some of the things that Trump has said about the world leaders he most admires, like these.
President Xi is a brilliant man. How smart is Kim Jong-un? Top of the line. Putin, very smart.
We know how those leaders and regimes behave when you talk about political rivals, just as one example. And we've been told, Ty, so many times not to take Trump literally. But in this moment, and it is a grave moment, would it be a mistake not to?
I think you have to take Trump seriously because he poses the gravest threat to democracy that we've ever seen. On the other hand, I think his legal arguments are, interposed solely for delay. I think, as the government's lawyer or the special counsel's lawyer argued today, that at the end of the day, it would be very scary if there's no accountability, as Trump's counsel has argued, for the types of conduct that have been charged here when a president tries to prevent the peaceful transfer of power and uses the levers available to him to subvert the democratic republic and the electoral system. I think the lack of accountability that he desires, which Putin has, the Ayatollah has, Xi has, as you allude to, I think that he may want an America that is like that. But the founders, when they crafted the Constitution, tried desperately and dutifully to make it plain that this was not going to be a country where we had a king. This was going to be a country where we had an accountable executive.
All right, Ty, thank you.
If it makes you feel any better, I have already put evac on alert. He's ready to go if it comes to that. General, I can assure you.
Hey, Chapo, let me into the war room to see you, so I had to hack my way onto this frequency.
This better be critical, Willie.
Sir, come on, when is it not, please? Okay, couple of things. I'm running low on the dough. I was thinking about taking a couple of months sick leave, maybe starting today. And, oh yeah, I intercepted a transmission from Megatron.
Then send it through.
Yes, sir, right away, sir. And so I was so damn weird, going on the other stuff.
This is your last warning, insects. Relinquish what remains of the Allspark.
So who's the insect? You? What? Who's the insect?
Protect you. They were defeated on our world, and we will defeat them here.
This was just a diversion. Security, may bring up. Rabbit, she's already inside. Deeds! Give me an update on that reserve. Boss readiness. What was his name? What was it?
Evac, sir.
Right, evac.
She's right in front.
We are facing a heavy sustained attack. They appear to be after the Allspark. General! General! Need this immediately. Evacuate everything. National security advisory. Stand down. Check it out. The mission celebration for the amateurs suicide mission.